Grooming is a predatory process where an abuser manipulates someone, often a child or teen, into a trusting relationship, only to exploit or abuse them. Of course, this could happen to adults too. It's subtle and insidious, and victims often don't realize it until it's too late. To help protect more people and provide validation to those who have fallen prey to grooming, we're diving deeper into its harmful effects on the mind and how to combat it. Awareness is key, so our goal is to raise awareness, prevent victim blaming, and stop this from happening to more people. If you relate to this, please know you're not alone. What happened to you is not your fault. It's a form of exploitation and you deserve support. Here are a few things you need to know about why grooming goes unnoticed until it's too late. Gradual manipulation. Grooming doesn't start with control or abuse. It begins with kindness and attention. Predators make their victims feel special, needed, or understood to gain their trust. But how? They create emotional dependency. The groomer essentially trains the victim to become emotionally dependent by conditioning their amygdala to link the groomer with feelings of comfort, trust, and happiness. This happens through the release of feel-good hormones like dopamine and oxytocin. Over time, this can train the victim's brain to seek approval and attention from the groomer and often confide in the groomer, hoping to find solace, even when warning signs start to show up. This makes it challenging for the victim to recognize any red flags, as their brain is conditioned to feel a bond with the groomer. By the time things take a darker turn, the victim's perception is already altered, which leads us to the next point: cognitive dissonance. Grooming creates confusion in the brain, where two opposing thoughts coexist. Think of the amygdala versus the prefrontal cortex. On one hand, the groomer seems kind and caring. On the other, their behavior becomes controlling and hurtful. This struggle can be compounded by the effects on the amygdala, which processes emotions, and the prefrontal cortex responsible for decision-making. These areas can be exploited, making it hard for victims to recognize harmful patterns. Gaslighting. Why don't victims see it? That's the power of gaslighting. The groomer will deny their harmful behavior, blame the victim, or twist facts to make the victim feel like they're overreacting or imagining things, making it difficult to trust their intuition, leave the relationship, or seek outside help. When gaslighting happens repeatedly, it can alter your brain and cause it to go haywire. How? Well, it creates a constant state of confusion and anxiety, which affects both the amygdala and the hippocampus. The amygdala, responsible for processing emotions, can heighten feelings of fear and uncertainty, while the hippocampus, crucial for forming memories, may struggle to accurately recall events. This means victims might doubt their own memories and perceptions, making it even harder to recognize the manipulation. We've seen many victims struggle to remember memories of abuse, grooming, or other traumatic experiences. This can lead to situations where people falsely accuse the victim of lying simply because they can't recall specific details. But that is simply not true, because trauma can disrupt memory formation, leading to fragmented or missing recollections. It's important to understand that memory gaps don't diminish the reality of what the victim experienced. Isolation and control. Grooming often involves isolating the victim from their support network. Over time, this isolation makes it increasingly difficult for them to gain outside perspectives on their situation. As a result, they may experience heightened feelings of loneliness and dependency on the groomer. In this dynamic, the groomer often becomes the primary source of emotional support and validation, significantly impacting the brain's reward system. The victim's amygdala may become hypervigilant to the groomer's cues, intensifying feelings of fear and anxiety while simultaneously reinforcing a false sense of safety when receiving approval. Coupled with an impaired prefrontal cortex due to ongoing manipulation, this makes it challenging for victims to recognize unhealthy patterns and regain their sense of agency, further entrenching them in the cycle of manipulation. This is also known as trauma bonding. When someone is groomed, They often go through cycles of affection followed by abuse or manipulation. This emotional roller coaster can lead the brain to connect the groomer with relief from pain, even though they're actually causing it. It's kind of like addiction. The victim's brain gets used to craving those emotional highs and validation, often without realizing how harmful the cycle really is. The unpredictability of affection and abuse makes this dependency even stronger. If the groomer has financial power or high social influence, it can create a feeling of being trapped. Victims might feel they have to stay quiet or put up with the behavior just to feel safe and avoid becoming targets themselves. So they hold on to those fleeting moments of kindness, hoping for approval and a sense of safety, which only deepens their emotional struggle and keeps them stuck in that cycle of dependency. Grooming works through a combination of manipulation, psychological conditioning, and exploitation of trust, often leaving lasting damage. It's not about weakness or naivete. Grooming is a slow, insidious process that rewires your brain, making it hard to recognize or resist. Not only that, but power struggles can really complicate everything. Even if victims notice the warning signs later on, it can be tough for them to speak up due to fears of getting harmed due to the lack of resources compared to the powerful groomer. We hope this video offers reassurance and sheds light on how the impact of grooming and abuse on their brains makes it difficult for them to express what they've been through, especially when they're questioned or when they find themselves in the court system. If you relate to this video and are a victim, please know that you're not alone. It's not your fault for falling victim to grooming. Your brain has been exploited. These manipulative tactics can deeply affect your brain, particularly areas like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, which can impair emotional processing and decision-making. Grooming exploits trust and can leave lasting emotional impacts, but you deserve support and understanding. If someone you know has been groomed, offer empathy, not judgment, and help them rebuild trust in themselves. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.